So today I'm showing you all how to make chicken and dumplings. This is a quick, easy recipe, and I'm making it in my Instant Pot on the soup setting. So I'm turning it on, I'm setting it at 22 minutes, and it takes just a few minutes to get hot. So I added some olive oil, and we're going to start cooking the onions. We want those to be nice and sauteed before we add our other ingredients. So cook those for just a minute or two till you hear them sizzling up, and then add half a stick of butter. I've prepped some chicken thighs, and right now I'm just seasoning them with onion powder, garlic salt, seasoning salt, and pepper and regular salt. I'm stirring the butter into the onions so those could cook. You want them to start to become a translucent color. Now I'm prepping the dough, and this is for the dumplings. So I've used 2 cups of flour, and I added about a teaspoon of salt and sifted it together. Now I'm going to use the chicken broth to slowly stir together to make the dough. You could use heavy whipping cream that makes your dumplings more fluffy, which I like, but I wanted to try something new, and it did make them a little tastier. So now I'm going to add the celery. Stir that up real good. And I added just a little chicken broth to help it steam. So now I'm just adding some flour onto my counter. I just cleaned it with rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to start to knead my dough. You don't have to knead it too much. You don't want it to get thick to where the dough starts expanding back together. So now I'm adding my carrots and potatoes. And I'm adding the other half a stick of butter and mixing that all together. So I used about 10 carrots, a stalk of celery, 1 medium-sized potato, and I'd say a medium-sized onion. So now what I'm doing is I'm making small balls of dough. These are going to be the dumplings. You make them not too small because you don't want them to disappear, but not too big. I'd say just enough to fit into the size of your hand. So now I'm adding an entire box of chicken broth. I'm also going to add about 1.5 cups of water and stir that all together. And then I'm adding about 1 tablespoon of thyme, and I'm stirring that all up. And I'm just letting the top sit. Then I add my chicken after that it's started to cook. After the soup was cooking, I added the chicken thighs. Now when you're making soup in a pressure cooker, it takes a while for the steam to release. So I was just showing how when you are using the Instant Pot, how you close it and how you release the steam at the top. But this recipe, you definitely don't need a pressure cooker. I wouldn't even necessarily suggest using one, but I wanted to use my Instant Pot. You could cook this in a big pot over the stove. So I just released the steam, as you saw, and it takes a while. It takes like 5 minutes, if not longer. There's my husband. He was filming for me. Very sleepy looking because he worked 3 nights in a row and didn't even sleep the night before. So anyways, we're just patiently waiting, and there we go. So now we're about to drop our dumplings in. You want to spread them out and do not stir, do not stir, do not stir. The entire time you're cooking these dumplings, you will not stir. So as you see, I'm dropping them in, spacing them out. And then what I'm going to do is take a couple pieces of chicken to bury the dumplings underneath so that I don't have to mess them up. All right, so it's been just about, how many minutes do you think?
I think it's been about 11 minutes.
A whole 11 minutes? I'd say 10 minutes.
Maybe all 8 minutes.
All right, I did not close the lid. I do not want it to pressure cook, but it is boiling. And let's see if we could check on a dumpling. See if they're almost ready. Oh, there's one. All right, not ready yet. I'm gonna tuck that back away.
How do you know it's ready?
It just gets really fluffy looking.